Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms, where we go over the Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. We are on Season 5, Episode 2, Smithereens of Black Mirror. It is June 18th, a fancy Tuesday, and we just finished up Smithereens.
We
We're
going
to give some top-level thoughts here before we jump into spoilers. I want to grab this. And actually, always be able to start this after the fact.
So
top level.
Top level.
Well, the episode. What's the episode about? Is there anything really to spoil? I mean, except maybe the ending?
The episode is really what the summary says. A guy who works for pretty much an Uber company called Hitcher.
Yeah, I think it's Hitcher.
Or Hiker. No, Hitcher.
For all intents and purposes, he's an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Who kidnaps a dude.
Yes.
Who works at Smithereen, which is basically Facebook. So, Uber kidnapping Facebook. That's where we're at.
And of course, the non-copyright infringement way of just replacing names with...
I mean, that's what it was. That's 100% what it was.
Pretty well.
I don't even think pretty much. I think identically, that's exactly what it was.
All right, I guess Facebook could have the power that this company did, but I don't...
100%.
I still don't think well, we'll get into that later.
Anyways. So, yeah. Super well acted.
Yes.
If there was any positive thing about this episode, really well acted. Andrew Scott, fantastic, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, Moriarty.
He was great as Moriarty.
From the beginning of the episode, no matter what kind of light they portrayed him in, you still just look at him and go, yeah, up to something.
Yeah,
Moriarty,
you see him creepy.
Something.
You see him creepy because you just have that creepy face.
Yeah.
It didn't help that you play Moriarty.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other stuff too, but I don't remember what they are now.
No,
it doesn't matter.
He's Moriarty.
He is Moriarty. So Andrew Scott, great. Mm-hmm. Topher Grace, his appearance in this, his brief appearance, did perfectly fine. Yeah. He was Topher Grace. I don't really have any other... He was himself. He was
and then we have sort of an up-and-coming, I guess you'd call him, an up-and-coming actor, Damson...
Idris.
I almost said Idris.
Idris. Or,
I don't know.
You know what? I can't promise how to say that name properly. No. Another episode he was in, famously for us anyway, was the third episode of The Twilight Zone.
So, replay. Oh, God.
Which was on the bottom of our list of Twilight Zone episodes.
But as far bottom as it was, we still agreed that the acting in that episode was really good. At least coming from the main two actors.
We haven't had...
Even the creepy cop.
We're not having issues with acting. That's not... Acting was great. I thought this episode was pretty entertaining throughout, up until the end. To the end, because I was waiting for the end to save the episode.
I was waiting for the middle to save the episode.
I was waiting for something to change that made it seem more like a Black Mirror episode. And just like the last episode, I'm going to say I hold Black Mirror in very high regards. Super high. I mean, I recommended Black Mirror to everybody because I think it's a great, great anthology series. At least the first 4 seasons. Yeah. And unfortunately, this fifth, even Bandersnatch, awesome.
Holy cow!
So 4 seasons and the movie, great. This 5th season, though,
I don't know what's happening. I really, really don't know what's happening. When it comes down to it, like the last episode was borderline. Like it felt more like a Twilight Zone episode. This one didn't even get that for me. This one felt like Criminal Minds. It was CSI, NCIS, some kind of cop drama.
Yeah, this didn't feel anything remotely close to Black Mirror. The last episode was like, okay, there's some vibes here. It doesn't feel a lot like Black Mirror, but it has cool VR tech and stuff. This one was like, nah. This looked like technology about 6 years ago. Nothing special about this episode.
Like you pointed out, we didn't get cool earbuds. Like the computer systems and everything, the phones that they had, everything was very generic. Even the social media setup as far as what Smithereens looked like, it was pretty much Twitter and Facebook thrown into one.
Yeah. There's just nothing special about this episode. I mean, again, the acting was cool. The idea was interesting enough until you got the resolution. the last 10, 15 minutes of this episode was going to either make or break the episode because it was going to give resolution to what the episode was. And up to that point was interesting with intrigue. And it didn't pay off at all.
So, before we get into any kind of spoilers as far as what actually happened, what are we rating this one? How many little cubes did we lose on this, buddy?
The last episode, at least a little, and I still say it was a better episode than this. Yes. Even overall, I think it was just a better episode, a better well-done episode. I enjoyed it more overall. I think it had better resolution. I just think it was a better overall episode.
It felt deeper into the Black Mirror world to the point where it even pushed those connections. The Tucker Corporation was, unless I'm missing something in season 4, I did not see any kind of Easter eggs. Maybe they were hidden so deep I did not even...
No, this could have been anything. If you wouldn't have thrown the Black Mirror thing on the front, this could have been anything. And I think we said something similar to the last episode, but at least the last one tried a little.
See, I watched so much like BBC, like little thriller mystery shows and stuff like that. Like I watched those because I really like BBC television. But this literally felt like that was one of those.
If anybody has seen a series called Happy Valley, it is a British cop show, kind of. It's on Netflix. It's about a British woman cop. I forget, and I think how it's called Happy Valley, and it's about her and what's going on in her life a little bit. And her daughter died or something, and she has her grandson. And it was interesting. It's short seasons. It's really interesting. This felt like it could have been one of those episodes.
Yeah, like I watched.
If we would have put her as one of the cops, it would have been one of these episodes. 100%. That would have been it. There would have been no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, it would have been one.
Murder in Paradise, Father Brown, except it would have been Arthur Weasley going after this guy.
So it just, there was nothing special. It wasn't Black Mirror. No. And that's, it's just sad. I love Black Mirror. The first 4 seasons to me are great. And with only a couple episodes that I thought were just okay. And the whole entirety of 4 seasons and the movie. And then this season so far has just been,
So, rating.
A rating? Well, since I enjoyed the last episode more than this episode.
And that was a 3, guys.
It was
a 3.
We dropped it a little bit. It probably, if we wanted to compare it to Black Mirror, we probably should have rated it a little higher. But I want to hold Black Mirror into a high regards because I really enjoy the other. And we're going to do season 4 next, where we'll be reviewing that whole thing. Or we will be holding in such high regard, and I think properly, and can rate it more properly, because I think that season actually feels like Black Mirror. So, in my personal opinion, it's a solid 2, which is super disappointing. It hurts my soul. The last one hurt my soul, and this one hurts me too.
We lost 3 companion cubes while watching this one.
Yeah. And 2 of them were lost just on the ending.
Yeah, yes.
The ending hurt me. Yeah. The ending what did it. If it could have had a better resolution, we could have bumped this up at least a little. But God, the ending... Anyway, we're going to move over to spoilers for a few minutes before we bounce out. My disappointment. It hurts. It disappoints.
It's sad.
So, spoilers. Yeah. So, Moriarty here.
Literally, you can summarize this in probably... Which is, I guess, okay for an episode, being that it is supposed to be a short story anyway. But you could literally sum it up to... Guy sits outside of a company waiting for one person who at least works at that company to get into his vehicle. And when it happens, he kidnaps them, runs from the cops, and then finally it's a showdown.
He has a guy hostage, and his only goal, period, is to talk to the founder of the corporation, basically Mark Zuckerberg. He wants to talk to Mark Zuckerberg.
Billy Bauer, which is
Billy Bauer, which is the creator, the owner. It's Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. That's what it felt like, the whole episode. I need to talk to Mark Zuckerberg because... Which, this is why. The episode's interesting. His interaction's interesting. He's going to this group counselor...
Yeah.
What was it? Like...
It was pretty much...
I want to say AA, but it's not AA because I just...
No, it's group therapy.
It's group therapy, but I don't know. I just think AA when I see a bunch of people sitting in a circle.
No.
That's all I got. So he's going to this. He meets this woman there. They have a little fling really quickly, and then you find out that she is trying to get into her social media site, Persona.
It was her daughters.
Her daughters. And she needs the password, and she keeps trying new passwords every day. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting, because her daughter killed herself, and she wants to know why. Yeah, she thinks it might be on her social media thing somehow, or her emails or whatever inside that.
Yes.
So yeah, he kidnaps this dude who wants to talk to Mark Zuckerberg, and that's the whole episode. He wants to talk to him. We don't know why. That's what makes the episode interesting. We don't know why.
And I think what also makes it interesting is just the interactions between the two of them, because you have this guy who has been so determined to get one person from there, and the person he ends up with is an intern who knows absolutely nobody. Yeah. And so when he finds out this information, he's just like, why? Why are you dressed in a suit? You're an intern. Why aren't you dressed like an intern? What does an intern dress like in a business? I'm confused here.
So yeah, his attempt to kidnap someone high up in the business of Smithereens Facebook fails epically.
Yes.
And he gets the lowest guy on the totem pole. But it works. It still works out to a degree. He Googles the number, blah, blah, blah. He gets a hold of someone who gets a hold of someone who gets a hold of someone who gets a hold of someone.
And pretty much the only importance of these interactions is finding out that this social media company has more technology and more insight into this person's life compared to the police. They are able to find out his name, where he's from, what he's doing. They're able to tap into his phone, everything like this, before the cops can even figure out what his first name is.
Yeah, they very quickly, because everything's through social media. And it makes sense how they get a hold of all the information. Yeah. And then it goes like, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, all your information is kind of out there.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But it was just funny watching them come up with things so quickly, and the cops being just pretty clueless.
Like, did you know he did this? No.
Maybe we didn't know anything.
The fact that they're the ones that actually are contacted by the FBI, and then they contact the police. It's like, really?
So it's super interesting. Again, the acting is cool. It's intriguing. I like the interactions. But the resolution sucks so bad in this episode.
Literally, it's pretty much a testament to just mental instability. Just the fact that all he wanted to do was tell the owner of this company that he was responsible for the death of his fiancée because he looked at his social media phone, or his social media on his phone while driving, and he caused a crash which got blamed on the other driver because the driver happened to be drinking.
Yes.
He just wants the owner to know that they made their app so addictive on purpose, and it continues to be so. And he just wants he doesn't want him to change it. He doesn't want money from it. He doesn't want the guy to take responsibility for it. He just wants to tell him, and then that's the end of his life. That was his sole purpose.
And that's the resolution.
Because he blamed him. There was no taking back what he felt he had done to his fiancée. He doesn't blame the company for that. He just wants him to know, hey, you're purposely making your social media to be this way. And this is what happens.
And that's it. And then in the end, he's like, good old Mark Zuckerberg here is like, hey, I want to do something for you. Can I do anything to help you in some way? And he just like, sure. And it's like, oh, actually. And he basically gets him to get a hold of Persona, so Persona will give the woman the password to get into her daughter's thing.
Yes.
And the worst part about this entire thing, because you have that, I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's great. And then the hostage he took feels so bad after he hears what happened that he doesn't want him to kill himself. So he goes to take the gun from him so he won't kill himself. And in the process, they're freaking out, the cops are, so they start trying to sniper the guy.
Yes.
And we get 2 sniper shots. We fade to black. We never find out any resolution to this woman and her daughter. All we know is she gets the password. That's
Literally,
all we know.
How that last scene is they took a shot while she was logging into Persona. Or while she opened up Persona. We find out that shot missed. And then she types in the password, hits enter, the officers take another shot, and that's when it ends.
Yeah. So we don't know who they shoot.
Yes, because for all we know, they could have gotten the
kidnapper or the kidnappee.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't know. We don't know any information about this woman's daughter. We didn't figure out any resolution to that. No resolution to the killing. No resolution to what happened. Him trying to get a hold of Mark Zuckerberg was, in my opinion, for the most part, completely pointless. And then the whole episode is basically just saying, hey, social media sites are addictive. Be careful.
Well, it's pretty much the entire episode is about the addictiveness of social media, how much social media actually, how much information it collects. It's also about, of course, depression and suicide. And it's not only that, but it's about, how do you say this? It's also about how quickly media just fades and loses interest. Because you have this entire time, these kids watching, taking video, essentially tweeting about it pretty much. You have news just covering this entire thing. And then to top it off, you have, of course, the owner of the company who has gone on this tech-free retreat to just purge himself of all technology for a while. Where by the end of it, when the notice goes up that, hey, this is what happened. We don't know what happened, but this is what happened. It's like the kids, they just tweet about it, they're done with it. People are looking at their phones, they're getting messages, okay, whatever, move on with their life. And even Topher Grace, he just sits back down and goes back into his meditation. Like, that one event, it was just all consuming, and then as soon as it was over, it was done.
But,
the moment had passed.
Is that really surprising? In any way? And is it any different than anything has really ever been? This could have been no different had a news van been filming the whole thing the entire time back in the 70s or 80s. And then as soon as it was done and they turned off, people were like, huh, interesting. And it's something you bring up once in a while because of something interesting and you move on. Why? Because you don't know the people. And if you don't know the people, yeah, it's interesting because something wonky is happening. But at the end of the day, you don't know it, so it doesn't matter. You don't know that person personally. You don't know what's going on. Sure, okay, it happened. Wonderful. It's a random stranger, possibly on the other side of the world. Does it really matter to you personally in your everyday life?
And I mean, it's like, that's fine. These are all really strong messages. They're very current messages, things that are going on right now. But that was my problem with the Twilight Zone, is that, and it's like, I hate that we're still comparing them, but if Black Mirror would have stepped up, but that's the problem, is that it was once again, this is stuff we are literally being just surrounded by and drowned lately, because it's all over. Articles, messages, everything. It's all consuming. So when I step back and go, hey, I just want to watch a show on Netflix. I want to watch something I know to be entertaining and kind of maybe dark or just like really just intriguing. And once again, I'm just dominated by the same things that are just circling and circling around. I don't know. To me, it was just a crime show about what's going on in the world, and I was just disappointed.
Yeah, it was a crime episode about the evils of social media.
Yeah.
It's really all it was. And once again, I expect better from the Black Mirror. I really expect better from Black Mirror. And we didn't get it. We did not get it. Once again.
2 out of 5, guys.
2 out of 5, which is very disappointing to me.
Especially since the beginning was interesting and the whole interaction between him and the kidnappee was just great. But
yeah, interesting.
It just went down and just never got better.
And again, we said in the last one, like, this was a really intriguing episode. And it's like, this would be really ranked high on what we thought the Twilight Zone was. To me, this episode wasn't. This ranked towards some of the more bottom episodes of the Twilight Zone. It was not particularly great. It was intriguing until it wasn't.
That's the thing. It's like the message was not vague. It was not hidden. There was no symbolism at all. It was just in your face. This is the message we're trying to tell you.
And once again, most all Black Mirror episodes revolve around some interestingly strange, different technology. And this didn't at all.
No. It was just a social media site that looks exactly like anything we've ever seen. And the only time I thought it was going to get interesting tech-wise was when Topher Grace was like, I'm going to do something that only I can do. I'm going to go into God mode. And he hit enter on his computer, and of course the code came up. And I was like, yeah! And then no. He just got his phone number.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Disappointing. This season so far has been super disappointing.
Yeah.
So, let's hope. Here's hoping Miley Cyrus can save us all. Because she's in the last episode. What is it called? What was it called?
I don't even remember.
Was it something robot? Maybe not. I don't remember.
I know it's about a robot. Or
it is about some kind of robot thing.
Pop star.
You know what?
Miley Cyrus playing a pop star?
Who would have thunk it?
Never heard of that.
Who would have thunk it?
Okay. That's all I got.
Disappointing. I'm disappointed. Here's hoping the third episode will be better than these two. First one, decent. Second one, okay.
Third one, Miley Cyrus, do something. Do something. I don't care if you swing around on a wrecking ball. Just do something.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah. On that note,
we'll see you next week. As always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled, reach Amanda at KZ Pup, reach the show at Beyond Our Focus practically anywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe.
Maybe.
A little teeny tiny globe.
No, it's a social media globe now. It's everywhere.
That's why it's tiny. Social media has made everything smaller.
Yeah.
Till next time. Long days and pleasant nights.